last year, deer season, that was the year I'd like to forget.
2 feet of acorns, it looks like, on the ground.
So many sleepless nights I thought about that deer.
I immediately knew it was him. There's always a good buck around the wag.
Man, this deer's getting nervous. It's making me nervous.
Everything is safe until Chad draws his bow back and shoots him. You know, early spring, and then as it rolls into summer, Chad and I definitely get excited. You're starting to see these big bucks more and more, especially when you're looking at photos. You know, with technology today, we have the cellular cameras and everything. It makes it really easy.
We're getting an incredible amount of pictures at all the feeders. I mean, the deer are coming in, they're growing like crazy. Man, we're hoping to have a banner year. The pictures were telling us that was gonna be the case.
I had at least 3 shooter bucks at my setups. Chad had like 4, it seemed like. And these aren't just regular bucks. These are, whether they're huge 8 points with kickers or a couple of big 10 points. I had an 11 point that we were seeing.
It's unreal. We're excited, looking like it's gonna be our best year ever had. And then here come fall, right when it gets to be about season, pictures just stop.
We started getting a little worried because it just seemed like almost overnight, you know, the photos on the camera were less and less of these good bucks. You know, usually early season, sometimes as it goes into a little closer to mid-season, the bucks disappear because they're already running off, you know, chasing the does everywhere. Well, come to realize, we started seeing some acorns already around camp. And I told Chad, I said, man, we may have a little bit of a challenge this year. If there's this many acorns already.
The oak trees, bumper crop of acorns, unlike any I've ever seen before. We're not even seeing the deer. They've kind of just vacated the property.
You could see the trees were just loaded up with acorns early on. I had one good buck that was consistently showing up over at my main that I was getting photos of. And other than that, I didn't have much of anything.
Unless you're looking around and you see, you know, deer under the trees and they're eating acorns and you got a stand set up near some oak trees, it's about your only chance. But, you know, we're trying to target a specific deer too. You know, we want a deer that's a certain age and one that we've been watching that we know his age. And so trying to get on that right deer is very difficult to say the least. It reminded me of hunting the national forest and not seeing a deer and wondering if there's even any deer available to hunt.
You know, this has happened to us before. About 3 years ago, we had a huge acorn crop and it started early, and that was a challenging season, I can tell you right now. Chad ended up doing okay. I shot like a management buck is all I shot that year, but I told him, I said, this year I think is gonna be even worse because the acorns seem to be more plentiful and they're falling even earlier. We're really gonna have to think about this and make some changes. You know, as we went into the season, you know, I wasn't getting a lot of photos, but that doesn't always tell you the whole story. You know, Chad reminds me quite often that just because we don't see a certain buck on the camera, that doesn't mean he's not around there. He actually may be only 40, 50 yards around that setup. You know, that's something to remember. You know, for the first couple of times, I wasn't really seeing much. I mean, I had a few does that were coming in. Had like a 3.5-year-old 8-point come in I got excited about, but we're trying to grow these deer and let them get to age, and I just wasn't seeing anything mature. But you gotta be patient because you never know when that big buck's gonna come in. Just because you're not seeing him on the camera doesn't mean he's not there. I was gonna sit in the ground blind, the north ground blind setup. I'd been trying the south a little bit, and the wind was getting a little questionable. It was a little iffy. So we had more of a north wind finally, and so I was excited about sitting in this setup.
This is an awesome spot. I've only sat here a couple of times. I have a lot of does coming here. That's why I think we may have a chance at a big buck. There's a couple of big bucks that we could see. One's a big 8-point wide deer. Another one's an 11-point. Cold front came in. It's a lot cooler now. So, but you just never know. The acorns are so bad. Chad and I are kind of going for broke. Look at all that blood right there. See? I don't know, she went maybe 60 yards.
Well, at this point, any place is a good spot to sit. Man, I decided to go the WAG, one, because the scenery's so good. One of my most memorable hunts took place at this blind. Seeing that same scenery, I can't help but looking over to my left and trying to figure out where Scott videoed this deer that I killed years ago. Actually, I remember seeing him in the viewfinder. He had the viewfinder open and he was videoing and he was out like this and I could see he was kind of getting shaky and I was like, man, what is he doing? Oh my Lord. I mean, he had a monster on film and it was behind all the brush and everything. We were waiting for it to come in. I keep looking back at that same spot and just imagining antlers for days coming through there.
That just happened, baby. That just happened. 15 points. 15 pointer. That deer is unbelievable. I cannot believe that just happened. Oh, son. We got here 2 hours before we even normally would get to the stand. And that deer jumped out right after we closed the blind up. There's an older deer that you saw with him. We've tried to kill that deer for 3 years. He could be 7. That's the best he's looked. He's a management buck, but I saw a big deer jump the fence about 300 yards out. My cameraman couldn't get on him. They always run together. Which is why I don't ever see that deer, because the other deer is so cagey. It's like his bodyguard. I'm glad we got here early. Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at this deer. That is a beast. Oh my gosh. That's one of my best deer ever.
I cannot believe this deer has ground growage. I had no idea it was this big. Man, he's got way more mass. Look at that. What a gorgeous animal. Oh man. We lost the blood trail for a little bit and we started circling around just trying to do a grid. He only went about 60 yards. But it's just the brush is so tall out here. It's been a good year, as you can see from these horns. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful deer. Look at that. That is incredible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points. Look at that. Oh, what an awesome hunt.
I'm by myself filming, which is always a challenge to do, but hey, it happens. Everybody's got to do it really in this industry, at least at some point. But this buck is out there at 25 yards. I got a couple of does around. They're acting nervous. I'm praying that this buck will just calm down and give me a shot. But right now, it's just not happening. Every time that I go to move the camera or something, he just kind of looks up, looks our way, acts nervous. This buck is just driving me crazy right now. And he's such a good deer, I don't want to make a mistake. It's always exciting to be in the woods and be out there. You know, things aren't always going to go our way, but to have the excitement that we had late summer as it goes into September and then the bottom fall out, you know, and us be a little bit depressed because the acorn crop's so crazy and there's acorns everywhere. But look, we don't give up. We still go out there. We're going to hunt hard. We're going to sit. We're going to play the wind right, and good things happen. Look, I got that big buck that's showing up. Yeah, I didn't get him yet, but the thing is, he's showing up. I got footage of him. We're excited about that, so next time we go, you never know what'll happen. Maybe I'll get him.
You know, I'm like every other hunter out there. I think I love to kill big deer, and when I was in my teens and my early 20s and even my 30s, I would probably tell you I was obsessed with it. Now, I'm not going to kid anybody. I still love to kill big deer, but I'm 47 now, and things have changed and things have shifted, and I've come to understand that there's a whole lot more to this entire hunting lifestyle and outdoor lifestyle than just killing big deer. Somehow now, having a son and having a grandson, I have come to understand that the experience of spending time together and making memories, and I know that sounds cliche to some people, but in all honesty, I now know that it is the most important part of this thing that we call the outdoor lifestyle. Time that you spend in deer camp with the people that you love, watching people that you love maybe take their biggest deer or help them get on their biggest deer. Now, everything has kind of shifted for me. Again, I like to kill big deer, but everything has become so much more important and my priorities are better in line. And I would say to you that we all have to go out and make a living, right? That's something we all have to do. But I think the lesson today for the moment of truth is don't get so busy making a living that you forget to slow down and make a life. God gave us the opportunity to be with people that we love, to surround us with the most important things in life. And the most important things in life are not things at all. It's our marriages, it's our children, it's our grandchildren. It's the opportunity that we get to show and share love and give each other hope and encouragement. These are some of the God's greatest gifts, and I think it all starts with a personal relationship with God. And if you'd like to know more about what that looks like, just go to elusivewildlife.com and click on the Moment of Truth tab.